We are the Church of the Larger Fellowship, the Unitarian Universalist congregation with no geographical boundaries. We believe in cultivating curiosity and transformation that is rooted in profound love.
For over 85 years, the ministries of the Church of the Larger Fellowship have circled the globe and crossed the walls of prisons. We are a spiritual lifeline for our over 2,000 members in prison, who are also connected to individual Unitarian Universalists through our letter writing ministry.
In our online community, we offer weekly worship, classes, and groups. Our monthly magazine, Quest, supports the spiritual lives of thousands around the globe. We know better than anyone how deep and meaningful connections can be formed even from a distance.
We are proud to be a leader in this faith movement, and we invite you to get involved in our ministry. We strive to be a place where anyone from anywhere can find spiritual refuge anytime they need it. Welcome to the Church of the Larger Fellowship.
We are so excited to bring you an all-new episode of the Voices of Unitarian Universalism, known affectionately as The View.
The View is a weekly Unitarian Universalist talk show discussing important faith-based topics from an anti-racist, anti-oppressive, and multicultural perspective.
Since 2013, we have gathered every Thursday from September to June to welcome guests from around the world.
Our guests are writers, scholars, activists, and religious thought leaders who are shaping Unitarian Universalism and society for the 21st century and beyond.
We hope that today's show inspires you. We hope it builds your faith and gives you perspective to see the power of Unitarian Universalism at work in your life.
Welcome to The View. Welcome, beloveds. We are in season 13 of The View, my 10th year as co-host. It started with a whole new group, another group of people, including Meg Riley and Joanna Fontaine Crawford, etc. So very exciting. My name is Aisha Hauser. My pronouns are she and her, and I come to you from the land of the Coast Salish people, also known as Seattle, Washington. Michael, welcome.
Thank you, Aisha. Reverend Dr. Michael Tino here, the other half of CLF's lead ministry team, joining you from Peekskill, New York, the land of the Kitchewan, Wappinger, and Munsee Lenape people, where we are sliding out of summer into fall, and it is just a glorious, beautiful, sunny day. DC Fortune, how are you?
Hey, it is great to be back. I'm Reverend DC Fortune. I'm coming to you from Auburn, Maine, unceded land of the Algonquin and Kennebec and Sagadahoc and Androscoggin and all of those folks, the Penobscot peoples here in Maine. And it is a glorious day here. It's actually going to get warm, but last night, it was so awesome. Temperature got down to like 48 degrees. I had all the windows open. It was perfect sleeping weather. Awesome.
Oh, I love that.
It is, just to make all of you who do not live in northeastern North America jealous, that perfect time of year where it is cool and crisp at night and there is no pollen. Because on the other side of the year, when it's cool and crisp at night, the trees are starting to bloom, and right now they're done.
So we've got the mold stuff happening here. The trees do different things, but hey, it's great to be home. I'm home in Maine, and it feels good.
Yay!
Yeah,
Michael, I was thinking before we jump into our very engaging and rich discussion, which will happen, let's talk about overcoming isolation with beloved community teams. You could join a team, help us fundraise.
Because it is the one time a year that we do a public fundraising campaign to support our Worthy Now prison ministry. That ministry has now over 2,000 Unitarian Universalists who are incarcerated. And if you don't know how the prison industrial complex works, they invent new rules almost daily to isolate and dehumanize people who are stuck in that system. And so it means that we have to work harder than them to provide our people with connection to community. And that work sadly costs money because, and we are doing a fundraiser, and this year we have teams. And you can go to clfuu.org/beloved and join one of our teams. You can make your own team. You can donate. What we really need you to do is to share this fundraiser with your people. Now, I happen to be the lead of the ministers team, which is currently not winning. We are in second place to the team CLF leadership. And Aisha is the lead of the Liberal Religious Educators team, which is also not winning.
You're not winning. Come on, folks.
But you can make your own team. You can join one of our teams. You can join Team Abolition. If you believe in abolition of the prison industrial complex, we can make a team viewers. I don't even care. Or you can donate. You can donate there, and that will donate to my team. And
I affirm and promote, Michael. Well done. Well done.
Or you can pick what team you'd like to donate to right there at clfuu.org/beloved. But what we really need is for folks to share this fundraiser and to help us reach that $25,000 overall goal.
What do we got so far?
So far here on the 11th of September, we have raised $4,150, which is pretty awesome.
And our goal is 25,000. So any amount, that's the thing with like if you can give 10, 15, 25, 500, whatever amount, give, share, have people.
That's right. And if you have nothing to give, but you have social media and you're willing to share this and ask your friends to give $5 or $10 or $25, it all adds up.
Yep.
So we're going to keep, for those of you watching the view today, we're going to keep the link on your screen with the QR code. For those of you listening to the view, again, it is clfuu.org/beloved, BELOVED.
So I want to tell everyone about a symposium I was a part of this past weekend, the first weekend in September 2025, that included Dr. Cornel West, Reverend Sekou, who is a phenomenal preacher, musician.
Love him.
Yeah, he lives in Seattle.
Awesome.
He organized this symposium that was titled "Faith in the Time of Monsters," and it was an interfaith coalition. And I filled in for how I got on this panel. Is Lena Gardner, executive director of Blue, Black Lives of Unitarian Universalism, was one of the sponsors. Lena couldn't make it, so I was asked to fill in, and it was an extraordinary experience. We talked about what are the ways we need to show up as people of faith in a time of monsters. And it was a truly, first of all, I want to say it was joyful. It was joyful to be with people, interfaith, different religions, folks of all, many backgrounds. There were two people, I'm not going to say their names because I want to protect them, but one from Rwanda, one from Kenya, each of them leading the only openly queer, gay, affirming congregations in their entire countries.
Wow.
Yep. And
that's badass.
It was badass. And one of them went on the panel said, what empire and colonialism has done. They were talking about Africa, specifically countries in Africa, but also, oppressed people in the global South. What colonization did was erase our history and attempt to erase our history. attempt to erase our stories. So it was a really powerful conversation, and being around, like, there was one dude, Jeff, he's a white dude journalist who was also on one of the panels and talked about how he went to a lot of right-wing rallies across the country. And what was fascinating, I mean, he said people are stuck in their ways. People are, we have like two different worlds, maybe more than two. But how do we reach each other? I mean, one of the things I'd like to talk about is continuing to affirm where we are. I don't want to lift up what I'm against. I lift up what I'm for. I'm for universal basic income, universal health care, and guaranteed housing for every single person, and liberation and people thriving. That's what I'm for. So I'd love to hear your thoughts, both of you.
I mean, I think we have to be relentlessly sharing what it is that we're for.
Yes.
Because I think that, like, part of our challenge is to make the things that we're for, like, the mainstream, right? To make them possible.
Right.
To make them, that, like, right now, there's the political philosophy called the Overton window, right? The Overton window is the window of things that are possible. And it has been shifting rapidly to the right, which means that, things like...
Rapidly, it's been 40 years.
Well, it's been shifting rapidly for 40 years. I mean, it's like it's going still.
Okay.
And it's been a project of people who espouse those things to shift it, which makes it less possible to, like, universal basic income is like, oh my God, that's like wacky left-wing stuff, right? No, that should be like center politics, right?
That should like be... everybody fed, everybody housed.
Thank you.
Should not be. That's not radical. Well, that's not radical. That's what that crazy rabbi in Bronze Age Judea was talking about, right? The son of the carpenter guy, right? He was said everybody hungry. Everybody, like, they're hungry, feed them. They're naked, put clothes on them. They're unhoused, build a roof over them.
Jesus didn't overthink it. Take care of the poor. Stop it.
Yeah.
What is happening?
Don't be a dick.
So, like that, those policies, right? And again, the ones that directly follow the instructions of Jesus or Esau or however you want to, like, engage with his teachings, those policies should be baseline, right? So we have to be out front saying, like, treating people morally, teaching people morally has to be our base. It has to be like the least that we're willing to say yes to, right?
And it makes me furious that we have to.
Yes.
Right? Like, the sound of your heart beating in your chest should be reason enough for you to want these things for everyone. Why do we have to teach you how to want somebody not to starve?
Because we're still part of the colonial project. This is Reconstruction failed. The idea that the reason we do not have universal basic income, universal health care, and guaranteed housing is anti-Black racism, and that we aren't apologetic. We have to be unapologetic in advocating for and being loud about supporting people to thrive. That we want people to be liberated and thriving, because the idea that some are worthy and some are worth less comes from a warped fundamentalist view of any of the Abrahamic faiths.
Mm-hmm.
It comes from a warped sense of, it's not just warped, it is what empire and colonialism is. So deconstructing systems of oppression will center humanity. We center right now money, something that is made up. Money is not real. We have collectively said these pieces of paper, and now we got Bitcoin and fucking whatever the fuck is like made up. What's the other one? I keep wanting to say ChatGPT, Bitcoin, whatever the other one is, with fake money. It's made up. But so we decided we're going to use that as a way to assert power over others. That's what we need to deconstruct. There is plenty of money. Literally, there's plenty of money. People have billions. So we can share. And when people say to me, that's complicated. I've said this before on The View. I will say it again. It is not complicated. The International Space Station is complicated. That's a complicated endeavor. It takes scientists, money, math.
They still manage to make it share.
We do it and we share it. So we need to share, and it's not even centered. That is to me. No, you're right, Michael. That should be the baseline. The baseline is we care for everyone, and no one's humanity.
People have shelter,
right? And lunch.
Like this,
and lunch. You know,
and access to healthcare that they can afford, if not free. Like I'm free. I'm good with free.
Free healthcare. Free healthcare. Yeah.
Free is affordable to everyone, right?
Right. Totally. Yeah.
Or like we don't even need to call it free. It's like included in our social contract.
Right.
Right.
That part.
Included in our taxes. You get it. Like you get, roads and like roads that you don't have to pay for. You get those, and you get like the fire department. You don't have to pay extra for.
Right. The school department.
You should get health care that you don't have to pay extra for, and food, like a basic, place to live, included. We'll just call it included.
Did you hear what's happening with the farmers because of the tariffs? And I do not take pleasure.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not really into fuck around and find out. I am a little bit, but not to people who genuinely...
1217, by the way, DC.
I think I feel compassion for the farmers who are about to lose their way of life no matter how they voted.
Yes.
I think that is bad for us. I do not espouse that people need to be harmed to get a better society. I want a better society for everyone, no matter how they voted. Period. Full stop.
Right.
And, if you haven't heard about this, look up what's happening to soybean farmers right now.
That's right.
China is the largest purchaser of American soybeans in the world. They purchase almost 100% of the American soybean crop, and they have placed no orders for soybeans for next year because of the tariffs. Right? China is buying their soybeans from other countries, and soybean farmers in Iowa and Nebraska are going to bear the brunt of that.
Wow. I didn't realize they made no orders.
Orders are down like 90-something%. Look it up.
Same thing with
I'm not in charge of the statistics, right? So look it up.
Same thing with whiskey, American whiskey. Jack Daniels, Canadians are like, no, we got good whiskey. We're all set. Yeah, they don't. They not only that, but they actually took the stuff off the shelves and sent it back.
Yeah, the Ontario provincial liquor stores.
Petty, I love it.
Sent back all of their American liquor.
Well, they had this weird rule where they don't pay the Americans for it until it sells there.
Oh, interesting.
So they're like, yeah, we're not actually even we're just gonna, because if we keep it, then we have to like pay you for it. So no, we're just sending it back.
Y'all, did you hear about the woman who's running for some office who called ICE on a factory, and they for like 400? They were helping people learn how to work the machines. They were going to bring jobs to that town in Georgia.
This is the Hyundai factory.
Yeah, I know.
Factory.
Yeah,
yes.
She got like not quite 100 people deported or rounded up and arrested or something.
who are now all being held in ICE detention.
Right, they're South Koreans.
Despite the fact that they all had permission to come and set up this factory and train the American workers to run it, which is what they were doing. And it's becoming an international incident.
Yeah.
Right? Like, as it should.
You know, okay, I have a question for you both because
please.
I've been unsettled. I've been unsettled. I mean, there's a I know that this, you know, the regime we have right now doesn't, you know, is a firmly white supremacist, misogynist, patriarchal regime.
Fascist.
And first of all, kudos to Chicago and DC for all y'all, and LA. We can't forget LA. LA, DC, Chicago have been fighting back. But like the thing that I've been asking myself is like, okay, to what end? So you want to take us back to feudal days? Like, is that what's happening? Is that like, is that the fever dream of these folks? Like, what the fuck? Yeah. I sound ignorant, but it's more like, am I naive? Like, what is this, just to fight for the sake of fighting, which is what it feels like, or just having power? And I don't know.
Well, it's not so much fighting; it's taking joy in beating somebody that they feel is less than over the head. It's recreational. It's recreational humiliation and violence without consent, because that's different.
And can we be clear that their fever dream is slavery?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Right? Like, that is their fever dream. Like the re-enslavement of...
And it's not entirely race-based either. I mean, race is a big part of it, but anybody that they consider less than, you know...
Well, they're going after the trans community, LGBT community.
Right.
You know, exactly. What's going on in Gaza just keeps getting worse by the second.
Oh my God, right?
I mean...
Yep. They want everybody not like them to either be dead or enslaved to them.
So being on the side of liberation, love, freedom, thriving is revolutionary. It's like we're saying, no, we're not going back to slavery and enslavement and feudalism. Women are not going to be used as... Hey, listen, people with uteruses understood the assignment.
Oh yeah,
went down since Roe v. Wade got turned over, which was their opposite plan. It's like, there was over the summer, something came out that was tracking birth rates and said in the United States, birth rates went down.
Because women are being really clear about people with uteruses are being really clear about the choice now is not to be partnered or not to be partnered, like, which is better. The choice now is, do I invite this person? Are you worth interrupting my peace? And the answer has been almost universally, no. 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 Like, you know, and we have seen that all over the country. You know, it used to be that guys would think that they were in competition with another guy, with some false hero model, with something like that. Now they're in competition with her peace.
Right. 100%.
And if you aren't a decent enough person to not mangle her peace, then you don't get in. So Melody writes, we got a bunch of stuff. Okay. Right. Melody, U.S. is crazy town. That's for sure. And what we need to know is how to survive while we fight. Yeah. And I think it helps to understand that there are so many roles to be filled in the revolution.
Well, I think even before that, be connected to others.
Yep.
That is truly when we look at how there has been resistance since day one of colonizers arriving on the shores of what is now known as the Americas, there has been resistance, and that resistance comes from connection to others who are impacted by systems of oppression. So connection. And as we learned in the last few years since the lockdown, connecting through the interwebs is powerful, right? So I think if it is challenging to connect with neighbors who perhaps are on the side of fascism, then can find people online, connect with folks in the CLF, connect.
Yep.
That's what I would say.
Yeah. And I have opinions.
I'm shocked. I tell you,
as
pearls to clutch.
As a faith, as people of faith, we need to just insist that empathy is a virtue.
Yes.
Right? Actually caring for other people.
Not a virtue. It needs to be the default.
Oh, but there are people out there who want to frame it as something wrong with us, and I'm like, no, there's something wrong with you if you think that empathy is a sin. There is something wrong with you.
Right. Yeah. So to get to the connection that Aisha was just talking about, I talked about that. We had water communion Sunday, water ceremony thing, and one of the things I said was that this notion of individualism is a fantasy. It is a farce. Matter, we know, cannot be created nor destroyed.
Right.
The atoms and molecules that make up our planet are the same number we've had since the beginning. So whatever assemblage of hydrocarbons are making up you and me, it's not like this is the first time we've used them, right? They're recycled. Right?
That's right.
And I talked about we were sitting in the sanctuary and, we got 60, 80 people there and we've all been breathing in and out. Chemically, we are connected. Right? And every time we breathe in new oxygen and hydrogen and nitrogen and God knows what other creepy crawly stuff too. But we breathe that stuff in and it changes our bodies chemically, and then we breathe out the new version of us, which is then breathed in by other people. You can't be separate. You can't be individual. It's just not possible. And it is complete fallacy to imagine that you can.
Yeah.
I mean, we are just scientifically interconnected with everything.
Now you can N95 filter some of that.
Well, yeah, right. But you still get the oxygen, you still get the nitrogen, you still get the non-creepy crawly stuff. But it's all real.
Yeah.
That's just science. And if you allow yourself to think imaginatively about that stuff, then it becomes very clear that we are all interconnected. And Carl Sagan said, we are made of star stuff. And that's real. Matter cannot be created nor destroyed. We are made of the same stuff that made stars. How cool is that?
Also the same stuff that makes garbage.
Well, yeah.
Wow.
Thanks, Michael, for keeping it real. Jesus.
But it's true. I mean, and
and don't get ahead of yourself. You share 95% of your DNA with a banana. I mean, we're connected, and then we're connected. Yeah.
And that connection needs to mean something. Right? You want to read that, Aisha?
The nitrogen in the air you breathe that you do not use has been breathed in and out for centuries. Amen. It is the same molecules breathed by all the people all the way back. It be touching your lungs. That's right, Nicole Thibodeau.
And dinosaurs have breathed this nitrogen before too. How cool is that?
Yes. I also want to bring up what is happening with the CDC and vaccines. Okay.
The worm ate his brain and died.
The Kennedy family needs to collect
They're
their cousin.
trying.
They are.
The Kennedy family needs to get on it because thank heavens for I live in Washington State. And Washington, California, and Oregon are formed a health collective.
Yeah, Hawaii has joined them.
I think Massachusetts, Hawaii joined them. I don't know what New York and Maine is doing, but I know
Massachusetts, New York, Rhode Island, Connecticut, Vermont, Pennsylvania, and New Jersey are. I mean, it's all the Northeast except for New Hampshire.
Because New Hampshire is like live free or die, motherfucker.
Live free and die. I used to live in New Hampshire. Very much live free and die. But like the idea that we are now like in this place of replacing years of distrust of people who have studied science and medicine and research is just bizarre. I mean, that is like, so is the plan also to get, or is this just we're throwing spaghetti in the wall because we don't give a shit? Like this doesn't. What is this?
I mean,
what
this is more insidious than that, right? Like, let's just call it part of a plan to kill vulnerable people. Like I just want to name it that.
Yeah,
right.
That's true.
Like the people who have access to resources, will still get their vaccines.
Yep, and their abortions.
And and the people who don't have access to resources, who rely on Medicaid, who rely on Obamacare health plans, who rely on public funding, suddenly can't afford the vaccines anymore because the CDC is not approving them, right? Like if you're going off label even in New York, where the governor has said, given permission to pharmacies to give the COVID vaccine, if you're going off label, it still costs $200.
Yeah.
To get that vaccine.
Wow.
Because the CDC hasn't approved it, so insurance companies won't pay for it. And if you don't have that $200, you're not going to get the COVID booster. Right? And so the people who don't have the $200 are the most vulnerable people among us. Right?
Yeah.
And so it is an insidious plan to kill vulnerable people. And it makes me absolutely livid and as someone who like has a graduate degree in cell biology, who studied lung immunology, like who's really good friends with one of the people on the NIH vaccine team that developed the Moderna mRNA vaccine. Like maybe we should have her on the show.
Yeah.
If she doesn't have a job anymore, maybe she'd be willing to just tell some truth.
Oh yeah, bring her.
Like it's just lies upon lies upon lies upon lies. And the lies upon lies are going to kill people.
Yeah.
Right? They're gonna lead to little babies dying of pertussis again. They're gonna lead to people disabled for life with painful post-polio syndrome. Right? It's gonna lead to people dying from measles again. It's gonna kill people, and it's gonna kill people disproportionately.
Right. That is by design.
And that's by design.
And I will say, honestly, I don't believe that RFK is that smart. I think he's simply a tool.
Oh, he's totally a tool.
Like he can't get enough brain cells to rub together to keep warm in the evening. He's got a flashy name that everybody knows. He's got a silly. He's an easy character for comic relief. And he is so desperate for the attention that he is willing to let himself be put in this role that he does not grasp the implications of. He just doesn't have the brain power left. He does not have the cognitive ability to understand what's happening. He just doesn't.
Well, but he's been co-opted by and used by and co-opted into this anti-vax nonsense bullshit for decades.
Yeah.
Right? Like this
for
is
a
not
long time.
Like this, this is a long game that the forces of death have been playing.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
And he lives not too far from me here in Westchester County, New York, or did. I guess he lives in Los Angeles now with the marvelous Mrs. Measles, his wife, Cheryl Hines. And but he lived for a long time.
We don't have a hell, Michael.
He lived for a long time in Westchester County, not too far from me. And there was a point at which the congregation I serve was invited to be part of this environmental project. And I refused to sign us off on it because it was being led by him. And I'm like, I'm not affiliating us with the anti-vaccine tinfoil hat, like the Wi-Fi is causing your brain cancer. No, it's actually the fucking worm that's causing your brain cancer. Like this nonsense, this anti-science fear-mongering bullshit.
Hey, I did a Google search, damn it. Don't you call my science phony.
I want to Darby made her first point here. I think those poor Kennedys have set boundaries. They have disavowed his BS and feel no call to collect him because they have overcome that codependence in their past. I can appreciate that on a interfamily level, but here's the thing. The Kennedys are public people. Like they want to, they have embraced being public and their legacy. So I think to some extent, I do appreciate that point. And I do think it is convenient for them to disavow somebody who's causing this much harm. Like, I think that is not, I think they can not have him over for Christmas dinner, but still say, absolutely not. Like, I don't know. I mean, it's and all Darby's second point, which I'm also going to read about the rich people supporting these policies will quietly call in the doctor for protection and not tell their friends about it and continue to support the suffering.
Yes.
Welcome to the United States. That is what happens 1,000% of the time. Christian women who want abortions will get them. The ones fighting for everybody else to get an abortion. They will get safe abortions. And so this has all been, so when I say, I posted about this whole thing about people pointing out hypocrisy. People with supremacy thinking do not give a fuck about hypocrisy. Why? Because they think they are better. When we're talking about supremacy thinking, there is no hypocrisy for them. So pointing it out is useless. Saying it's hypocritical for you to do that, it doesn't matter. They think they're, the rules don't apply to me. I'm whatever, right? Like that is, and so what I try to do is say, affirm the rights and the thriving of everyone. Yes. Everyone deserves. Children have a right to go to school and not be murdered. There were 4 children murdered yesterday in Colorado at yet another school fucking shooting. And we're still not talking about regulating guns.
We're not gonna.
So, well, we're not, because we're a death culture. That's why this pro-life movement is such garbage. It's like we're a fucking death culture.
I came up with an interesting philosophy, interesting theory not long ago, and that is we are in this place of sort of irreconcilable stuff because both sides lack imagination. the left cannot imagine what it is to have no shame. For left, the worst thing that can happen is you be exposed as a fraud, as a fake, as a terrible whatever, right? There's shame and you're ruined. They cannot imagine what it is to not care. So what? And the people on the right cannot imagine what it is to be something other than transactional. They cannot imagine what it is to be compassionate. They cannot imagine what it is to be generous and to be loving without a paycheck, right? Right? So, like, they can't imagine why we would care about other people, right? They like, what do you care? It's no skin off your nose.
I want to push back a little bit on I don't agree with you on the left. I think, at least, I mean, okay, I'm my bubble of where the folks I follow, the organizers. I don't think that and it's not that people who are fighting to dismantle systems of oppression are perfect, because that's not my point. I don't, and maybe what I'm responding to, I'm trying to think of what I'm responding to. I don't like the both sides thing, because I think there are folks fighting to dismantle systems of oppression that are killing people. And there are folks who want to maintain systems of oppression, because I think for me, what happens is when I, this is my own reaction. When I hear both sides, I hear there's some equal playing field, and there's not. So it's not that the left lack imagination of what we know that the right is killing us.
We know that.
Is killing and on this. So there are people who want to uphold empire and systems of oppression globally, who want to, because they think fascism isn't going to impact them. So there are people who are fighting to maintain fascist systems. There are people who are fighting to dismantle systems of oppression so that every single person can thrive. So that's the framing that I try to name. I try to articulate, to say there are people who want to dismantle systems of oppression that put people in cages. We are an abolitionist entity. The Church of Larger Fellowship is deeply abolitionist, and to have an abolitionist worldview is to create and promote and affirm a worldview that centers care, including healthcare, housing, food, thriving, joy, community, dance, like that. So I think for me, I try not to speak in the language of both sides or left, right, because I think it's reductive, and it then makes it like the left and right aren't on the same, we're not even in the same book. Like there are folks who are like, we want to kill people who aren't fit whatever box. And this is global. So there's Italian fascists, German, the UK, the OG, they're now arresting people who simply say free Palestine. They've arrested 1,000 people in the last week. 1,000, including like people just standing there with signs or doing nothing but holding a sign saying I support Palestine action, and then they're getting arrested. So to me, I think reframing our language to say there are people upholding and wanting to maintain systems of oppression, and there are others fighting it. And I don't think the people fight it. My experience of people fighting systems of oppression, I think they know what they're dealing with. I do. I think they know they're dealing with people who do not give a shit, who have no shame, and want to kill people.
Okay. All right. I still believe that we have a lot more naivete. But yeah, okay. Like, yes, I believe that there are people who totally get it. And I believe that there are other folks who are just like, if we expose them, they'll stop. No.
That's white people.
Oh, that's what it is. That's white people. Okay, sorry.
I don't think Black or brown activists who've been on the descendants of enslaved Africans do not think please and thank you are getting liberation or exposing anybody.
You're right. Thank you. That was totally what I was. That's a difference. That's a difference. I was thinking about, the white culture in which I swim. Yeah.
And you're right about that. I completely agree. I think the only peak group, and I said this on the panel over the weekend, I think the group that was most surprised at Trump's win both times was white liberals.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. I had a conversation recently with a African American colleague, and she was saying that in the circles that she travels, people are just sort of being like, y'all didn't listen. We tried, and we're going to sit down. We're going to watch how you fight this. It ain't our time.
We're going to find joy in community.
Yep.
No one, I mean, here's the thing. You're right. Every time I get it, listen, this whole, I'm so grateful for the clarity of activists who are incredibly brilliant and strategic, because what this administration wants more than anything is to get Black and brown people out there to shoot and kill them. And Black and brown people are pretty fucking aware of that. No Kings, whatever the first one was, is mostly white people. How many people died at any of those? But then look at what happened with the Black Lives Matter protests, where tear gas came out. There were tanks.
Oh yeah.
People were okay. So Black and brown people, the activists that I follow, that I'm a part of here in Seattle, are under no delusion, and we're centering joy and connection. And what's interesting is there are fascists who are like mad about it. I'm like, we're gonna, we know what you're about. We're gonna find joy amongst each other, because what else are we fighting for? I'm not giving them my fucking fear.
Yeah, my friend said, she said, there's a lot of talk about, listen to the ancestors. And then there's this one sort of overpowering ancestor voice that says, sit your Black ass down. Let somebody else be in the front line and get shot up for a while. And
let's have a world where we're not shooting at each other.
So
let's fight.
Although this week, what's his nuts, the Tangerine Menace has suggested that maybe trans people shouldn't be allowed to own firearms. I have never wanted a gun more than I do today. Just because somebody said I can't. Also, I'm in Maine, so, like deer, bear stuff, moose things. All of which are yummy and delicious. So, but yeah.
So as we enter our last 10 minutes of our first episode of season 13,
God, I missed you guys.
I want to spend a minute talking about abolition, because it's like old news to me and Aisha,
right?
But the last that we gathered here on The View, on the Voices of Unitarian Universalism, was before General Assembly 2025, when the CLF, the Church of the Larger Fellowship, the congregation that makes this possible, was still in the trying to convince folks to make abolition, transformation, and faith formation our congregational study action issue for the next 2 years. And if you haven't been paying attention since General Assembly 2025 in Baltimore, our issue 1, it was not without
drama,
white supremacy culture, Robert's Rules of Order, Michigas drama. It was not without that, but in the end, we prevailed and were chosen as the congregational study action issue for the next 2 years. And so for those of you who are loyal View viewers, you can expect that this show over the next year and plus will be a hotbed for education and conversation about what abolition means, about what it means to hold that no person is disposable, about what it means to create a society that addresses the root causes of crime, about what it means to create a society that rejects the enslavement of anyone for any reason and the caging of anyone for any reason.
Yep.
And a whole lot more. So we're going to have some great conversations, people. And if you have people that you want to be in these conversations, if you are out there and you want to be in these conversations, we're going to invite you to let us know. To let us know who those people are, to invite people to join us on The View next week. I'm so excited. We are going to be joined by Austin, Texas-based rock band Parker Woodland, headed by the Reverend Aaron Walter, Church of the Larger Fellowship affiliated minister and the head of the Texas UU Legislative Ministry, but Rockstar. For next week, she's going to be here. She's going to be here in her capacity as Rockstar. And we are going to have, for the first time in 13 years, live musical performance on The View. So stand by. We hope that it works. But we're going to have rock music. And we're going to talk about what it means to be artists supporting abolition. So is Rocking for Abolition is next week's show. Because Parker Woodland has embraced the message of abolition in their music and in their performances and as a band. And they're going to talk about like what that means for them as artists. And so we're going to start this conversation right with some art, with some music, some good music and some fun and good people. But if you know other people who you want us to invite into this conversation, we are so excited to make this a recurring here on The View.
Yeah, that sounds awesome.
That's gonna be fun. We had to have a tiny desk concert.
Yeah,
that's exciting. Our first ever.
Who is that?
Like NPR,
right? Yeah, like I'm curious, like how the tech is going to work. You know, and the music and the stuff. That's exciting for me to watch because
they're all going to be in one window together, and we're going to have to mute our mics while they're talking, and we'll make it work. We'll make it work. I'm sure that our beloveds in Parker Woodland own good microphones, and
probably that's probably a safe bet. Yeah.
we're good. Listen. If it doesn't work, you can go to like Spotify and parkerwoodland.com and listen to their music. And
there you go.
The world's on fire. We still fall in love. That is Parker Woodland. The world's on fire. We still fall in love. Right. Amen. And Ashe. I mean.
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
It's so good to see the two of you. I've missed you.
Yes.
I've missed you. I've missed this space, and
next week, the Reverend Dante Hilliard will be joining us again. For those of you who haven't been paying attention, Dante went and got himself ordained by the Fellowship of Affirming Ministries, TFAM.
Awesome.
And they joyfully ordained him in June, so he's now the Reverend Dante Hilliard, and he will be back as one of our co-hosts. He is in the middle of moving, and we
my heart
we like send him all the good moving juju.
Yeah,
that we can like possibly put together. So he is in the middle of moving to Chicago, and he'll be back as soon as he has access to the internet again.
Sweet,
and not just a moving truck. So
yeah.
So other final thoughts that we have, thoughts about abolition, things that like we need more squares for people, says Melody.
We can do that.
You know, one of the wonderful things about this platform is that it makes more squares when more people come.
Right. So, you look like the veritable Brady Bunch on here.
I want to say, begin if you haven't already. Live the world you want to exist as best you can, because I have my moments of and thankfully they're getting shorter and further between, of hand wringing of where is it. But then I think, hey, I'm going to call my friend. I'm going to text Michael. I'm going to text DC. I'm getting ready for the view. Like, I am going to talk to my neighbor and see how they're doing. I am blessed to live near a family that I offer to babysit every couple of months so they can have a date night out. And I get to be with a 5-year-old who asks me all the questions about life, and his little 1-year-old brother, Milo, who I think speaks Arabic, because I speak to him in Arabic and he responds with, I'm like, you are Egyptian in other life because you understand me, Milo.
Oh, goodness.
So I think surround yourself and live and be in a place of what does it mean for me to thrive today? What song can I put on? What can I just move my body? Can I breathe? Can I be in the space of I will affirm and thrive as best that I am able today.
For me, that involves donuts. Donuts. Yeah. Absolutely.
I really wish I had a good donut place near me. But
I do.
Oh, I have found in my new town, I have found the local Italian bakery, so I now have a source for cannoli. Yeah.
Cannoli!
So
Which I
I'm
can't have anymore.
like it's good. It's good here in Lewiston, Auburn. Yeah.
The congregation where I'm preaching on Sunday morning has a donut bakery on the way. So I will stop and get myself one.
Right? Yeah.
I have learned this. I learned this because it's 2 doors down from a Dunkin' Donuts. And I thought, oh, let me stop and get myself some breakfast at Dunkin' Donuts. And I pulled into the parking lot and there was an actual bakery 2 doors down. I'm like, why would I go to Dunkin' Donuts if there's an actual bakery here?
Right? So, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, Dunkin's used to be different back when each site made their own donuts. Back when Fred was, time to make the donuts.
Time to make the that is not a West Coast thing. I said that to somebody. Like, you don't know time to make the donuts, and they didn't know.
So for all of our beloveds on the West Coast, it was an ad slogan for Dunkin' Donuts. There was a little old guy who made the donuts overnight. Time to make the donuts.
Right. And he was like, he was always going to work or coming home from work. And sometimes he'd meet himself coming home and going to work. And yeah. But back in the day, that was a lot of my friends' first real job, out of high school, was to be the overnight baker at Dunkin' Donuts. Because you just followed the recipes they had on the thing, and you don't even want to know. Let's just say health codes were different back then.
I don't want
to know. They'll soon be that again.
Right, we'll bring it back.
Let's go. Let's go full circle.
Yeah.
We're not inspecting things for listeria and salmonella anymore. So pretty soon the health codes will be back to what they were back then, and we'll all be getting the runs from
we were talking about air pollution or something the other day, and I remarked, who gave us the EPA? Nixon.
It's true.
Oh.
Nixon gave us the EPA.
Right.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Back when the EPA was conservative.
Yeah, right? Oh my God. Oh yeah, I know that place. Yep, the bakery. Yeah, with the boss.
Voodoo started in Portland. Voodoo Donuts started in Portland, Oregon. So I know Voodoo. Yes. And now, there's one up here, I think, and now it's expanding. So there's one in Houston, Texas.
We have a local thing here called Whoopie Pies, right? But there's a local bakery that I don't even know. I presume they make other things. I don't know. But they're Lebanese, and you can buy them for $1.50, and they're just heavenly. And
what you can't get outside of the South Central United States is Shipley Donuts. So you can find one of those. There's one, near where you're going to be. I'll give you the address.
Nice. In Shipley. Okay, I'll have to look for that. Shipley Donuts. Excellent.
Yeah. All right.
Ooh, I like that we're ending on donuts. Speaking of joy.
So go forth and claim your joy, people, and we'll see you next week.
All right. Be well, everybody.
Bye.
Take care.
Thank you for joining us. Special thanks to everyone who gives generously to this ministry. It is because of you that this ministry is possible.
Visit clfuu.org/give to make a contribution.
We hope you will join us next week for another episode of the Voices of Unitarian Universalism.